All right, everybody. Well, I am so excited to be here today. It is Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. And that means we have a rock star interview here today with Sherri Johnson Coaching. I'm Sherri Johnson, your host and national speaker, coach, and consultant, and CEO and founder of Sherri Johnson Coaching. We are recording this live. We're excited to have our fantastic Megan Owens on from Nebraska, and Megan is going to be sharing her strategies on how to build a $30 million business through 95% of that through referrals. And so, Megan, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Well, you have done such an amazing job in a short amount of time. I mean, you've been licensed just under 12 years. And you're in a market in the Midwest, right? So it's not like we're in this one of the coastal markets where we have the luxury. And I'm always jealous. I'm in Ohio, so it's like you can sell X number of houses on either coast, parts of Texas and Florida, and less units, higher volume. But you're doing some unbelievable numbers. And before we get into that, I want everyone to know as they're getting on, we're going to be sharing the strategies, the how-to, the things you can all implement, okay, that you can implement to increase your effectiveness and really increase your referral rate. We have a course called, how to get to 90+% referral rate. And we're going to talk exactly about how to do that. We will have this video is available on replay on my YouTube channel. And I do want everyone to download my newest podcast that just came out, You Rock with Sherri Johnson, a real estate podcast available on all podcast platforms, because this will also be available there as well. But you can also see it at YouTube. So now that we've got a couple people on and more people joining, let's start, Megan, with your story. I know you've been a member of our coaching program for over a year, and I've gotten to know you. I don't know your story of how you got into real estate. So how did you get what happened? How did you get a real estate license?
So I was actually working at a golf course, and one of the members there approached me to see if I wanted to be her assistant. And it just kind of spiraled out from there, honestly.
You were working at what stand?
Golf course.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cut out one.
Yeah, golf course when I was 20 and summer job, and then it just kind of spiraled out of there. I was an assistant, and then I got my license shortly thereafter.
So she was a top agent looking for help, and
yeah.
Fantastic. How long did you work with her?
I worked with her for a little over a year and a half. And then I went to a little bigger brokerage. And then I landed with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate in Omaha, about almost seven and a half years ago.
Okay. And, what I love about your business is that, I too was really an individual agent with support staff, and you're doing unbelievable numbers, selling over 130 houses last year. I don't know if you're on track. I think you're on track to do more than that this year, I'm sure. Those kind of units, and you don't have a team. So tell us about how your model is set up. You're individual agent, and I believe you have one assistant, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically I'm pretty OCD. I'm kind of a control freak, so I like to do everything myself. I definitely could not do the units I do without an assistant. There's no way. So she pretty much handles all of the back end stuff, and pretty much everything except the physical, showing of the houses.
Okay.
So I'm out and about doing that, and then she's kind of manhandling the day-to-day operations, basically.
So, and is she full-time, of course, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And is she also doing transaction, contract to close, or what kind of duties do you have her doing?
Yep. Yeah, transaction to close stuff. But with that being said, I'm still pretty involved. Um, she does it all, and then I just like go in and just do my OCD checking craziness.
Okay.
But she'll do transaction to all the transaction stuff. She'll do listings, so she'll input all the listings. She'll schedule everything from photos to measurements, cleaning services, kind of all of that stuff. I do have a part-time person doing a majority of the social media. She'll do some of it just to kind of help with that. But we do a lot of pop buys for clients. We do a client appreciation party, so she'll organize and plan all that. So she does quite a bit.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And, it does leverage your time, I'm sure. And it was the same way. There were a lot of details, when you're looking at single transaction for someone, their largest financial transaction.
Yeah.
I always said this is like a wedding, everyone remembers the one thing that didn't go right at a wedding.
Right.
And so I became crazy OCD as well. I can completely relate to that because checklists and forms and, online, offline checklists. It's like, but it's every single detail because that is what everybody remembers. And I think it's obviously working really well because you have so much referrals going on that it's amazing. So I want to add, we've got a number of people on now. Please, if you're listening, go into the comments and just tell me your name and where you're calling in from, what state, what city, and just say hi. So I know you're here and you can be part of the conversation. So just go into the comments and say where you're from and your name. Just put your name and what city, state you're from, because that'll help me know who's listening as well. So, so you got your license. You weren't always doing the numbers you're doing now. Did you set out to, your first couple of years, did you have goals? Were you, driven by the achievement for achievement's sake? Did you have like a financial goal that you wanted to achieve? What do you think drove the success?
That's a great question. I've always been pretty competitive with myself, not so much like other people, but just more so with myself, like always continuously wanting to do more and more year after year. So it's kind of addicting once you get going. You're like, ooh, I did that. Now I think I can do this. And I'm just kind of pushing yourself to, do bigger and better things. I love the fact that it's relational. That's what is one of my favorite parts about this business. So the more people I can meet, the more people that I can help, swoop them up and carry them to the finish line. That's my favorite parts, but I have a incredibly competitive personality in general. So it is easy because the more you put into this business, the more you get out of it, which I feel is really rewarding. So if you have a competitiveness, like go, 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 and you'll see, results. All your hard work pay off.
Yeah. And it's, I'm very similar. I remember saying to my manager, how do I get on stage? Like, I want to do those numbers. And I had my license for a couple of months. And, then the addictive part of like, well, I can do more, I can do way more than that. Because you just kind of look, you're doing like 10 units a month. Okay. And I believe that it's easy, hard work. We were talking about this before the interview started. It's like doing the basics, which we don't even call basics. Those are like your normal, right? Is to do the things or talk about how you do those things so well. You mentioned having events and a lot of your business coming from, I think, what's the percentage exactly? It's like 95%.
Yeah, from referrals. And the others is like random things like Facebook or open houses or.
Yeah, the randoms. Those are like the extra.
Yeah.
They're extra.
Yeah.
What's interesting? While all these agents are running after the we were just on that interview the other day, and we were talking about I think Kyle Carnegie said the shiny penny of the year, or the distractor. Our industry is so full of companies trying to sell us something to make it feel like there's a magic pill you could take and have great success. Meanwhile, you're doing these things. You keep those things out of the you're not in that fray of thinking I have to spend money on this or this or this. You're doing things what some would think would be not work or too much work. So let's talk about some of those things. So first off, all of your clients that are coming in 95% on 130 units a year plus, right? That's just unbelievable. So and some of the things you're doing for those referrals. So tell us about your events that you put on. I know recently you've done some bowling alley events, drive-throughs. Tell all of our listeners the types of things that you do and the results that you get from them.
So we'll do pre-COVID. I did a bowling event every year, and it was kind of a huge production. So there was bowling and food, and I did a big raffle and things like that. Last year, I did a drive-in movie theater, just more COVID friendly. I'll probably do the bowling alley again this year. Both are awesome. I think I got more success out of the bowling event than I did the drive-in movie, but it could have been just COVID too. Who knows? And then I usually
And not to interrupt you, but I think just if you think about it, you probably saw and interacted with more people at the bowling alley than you could have in everybody being in their own separate cars. I get it. Like, that makes sense. I think it was creative. I think it was a fantastic alternative, but I get what you're saying. And I think that, you were in front of everybody. How many people come to these?
I think I usually have about 150, give or take, 130 maybe.
Okay. And how many do you invite?
I invite my whole database. Yeah, whoever lives in town. I would say 300 to 500 maybe.
And I just want to pause for a second. It's funny. You'll hear, I know this, every top agent I learned from throughout the years and watching you do this. And, they may not be able to attend the event, but they know they were invited, right? And I think there's great value. I don't want to overlook that piece of that, because putting the event on, having that 150 attend, which is awesome. But even the ones who didn't come, right? They were out of town, they couldn't make it, whatever. They know they got invited, and they just it's part of your brand, it sounds like.
Yeah. And right? I would agree with you. I think the event is great and, it's awesome, but really the key with any event that you're doing is the touch base. So you're touching base with everybody, inviting them to the event. They feel special. And then after the event, you're sending them a thank you note that says, thanks for coming. So, it's, the event itself is great, but it's more so in the invite alone that people feel appreciated.
Exactly. And so who gets invited? So obviously past clients, and do you invite people who have just been great referrers, that people have referred you business? They get invited as well?
Yep. So any past client, any current client that I'm working with, like seller or buyer, and then any friend, family, or whoever sends me business to, I invite all of them as well.
And what's the cost out expenditure on this? I'm just saying, the return on investment of the money you put into it versus the number of sales you get and generate out of it.
Yeah. It's a little over a couple $1,000s. But I usually get 8 or so deals out of it, just throughout the year. So I feel like it's worth it. It's a little bit more costly just because they do raffles and things like that. But to me, I get my money back from it. So it's just nice to see everybody face to face. I think that's one of the kind of special things that works for us.
Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, the return on investment is 7 to 10 times probably the
Yeah.
cost. That's a good ROI. That's why top agents do this. Whether you're having a clam bake or a golf outing event, or there are many different things you can do, like Megan is doing, to say thank you and have people see you once a year and know that they get invited. Um, and someone just commented, this is an amazing turnout, and talk about touching base with those who didn't attend and got business for those who weren't there. um, I think that's too, that I had a friend who did a golf outing, and in order to come to the golf outing you had to send him one referral, and if you didn't send the referral you still got invited. And he
Mhm.
would just say, well, now you owe me two, or something funny. And it was fun. Like, everybody just knew, oh yeah, I got to refer somebody because I go to the golf outing every year.
Mhm.
And he just was transparent about it. We don't
That's
have to
funny.
even,
Yeah.
you don't have to say anything except thank you. Um, Tell us about some other things that you do that you consistently do that pay off.
Mhm.
Whether it's, I know you're doing some really creative open houses for the neighbors. Would you talk about that?
Yeah. I need to get back to doing those, but nosy neighbor open houses our brokerage does, which I kind of like better than regular open houses, just because you're meeting with you're trying to get other listings in the neighborhood. And it's like a Wednesday or Thursday night, and like 5 to 7. So you just kind of invite the people that are around the house, just keep it small. But it's kind of funny because, they come in and they're like, hey, we're the nosy neighbors. So it's more so just creative, and it sets you apart from other agents in your area doing the standard, open house or something like that.
So the sign, I know you showed me the sign, actually has, like, it's so awesome. It's so fun. I don't know if you have one handy, but like the
You
the
can,
nosy,
yeah.
like, there's a nose. It says the nosy neighbor open house. And I am a huge, huge fan. Here we go. We are there it is. And it's this fantastic, right on the side there, nosy neighbor, and it just is hysterical. And what I love, I mean, we do open houses as a lead generator to pick up more business in that neighborhood. I think this is just brilliant. Wednesday, Thursday evening, invite the neighbors over, call it what it is, and lean into it. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, the nosy neighbor." There's no such thing. All of those people are future clients, and future listing opportunities for you. So I heard you even say, "I like to do those even more than I do a regular open house." I think that's so creative. So you are using a product that we love, called Send Out Cards,
Mhm.
and I will let you talk about Send Out Cards. Before you got into Send Out Cards, though, you were doing 25 cards a week, handwritten note cards to people. Is that right?
Yep, I range from 20 to 30 a week, and handwritten notes. I do a note card for literally everything. So, under contract, new listing, thank you for whatever. Hey, I was in your neighborhood, pop by. Thanks for the referral. Um, Anything and everything. I'm huge on thank you notes and personal touches. But I am so obsessed with send out cards. It's so easy to use, and it's so much faster, in my opinion. So, um,
So for folks who have no idea what we're talking about, Send Out Cards is a product that we actually sell. It is one of our top coaches, Jill Katzenberg, has been using Send Out Cards for, gosh, over 10 years. It's relationship marketing. And I'm going to put a link in the chat that everyone can just go send out a card on us, from my website. But the cards are great because they, I believe, look and feel even better than the cards you buy at the store. And tell everybody how you use them. So you actually customize the card. Sometimes you put pictures of the people on there. How do you use
mhm.
them?
Yeah. So, my favorite cards to use are the ones where we can do pictures on them. So pictures of their family or of their house after a listing appointment or something like that. Those ones are my favorite because I feel like they're the most personal,
Yeah,
and they're so cute. And Jill sends me, I coach with Jill, so she sends me them all the time, and she'll send my assistant some, and they're just so cute.
yeah.
And like you don't throw those ones away because they have your family on them.
No, I was getting these from her way before I was still managing different, I was in a management capacity at my former job, and I would get these cards from her. They're on my refrigerator because, as you said, they were birthday cards. Or here's one, I'm with David Knox at one of the OAR or NAR conferences, and she, grab the picture. It's graduations, taking a picture of the house, even before you go on the listing appointment. These are all just ways that you can do that. I also like the fact, did you just say you did these from your phone?
Yeah, you can do them from your phone.
In minutes. Like you said, I think the other day you said you get in your car from an appointment, and then what do? Just within 5-10 minutes, you've sent the card.
So easy.
So easy. So do you use the gift items that come in the send out cards? Do you ever use the gift cards or any of the?
Yeah, I don't do the gift cards, but I'll do like the brownies or the cookies, or things like that because there's just a real nice something extra, I think. After a listing appointment, if you're competing with somebody, you can send the card with the house and the brownies, and it's just another way to make yourself stand out from other people.
It is so cool. And I think we're just working with my producer to get the link up. You can go to sherrijohnson.com. Actually, here, I'm going to put a different one up. And sherrijohnson.com under resources, and just send a card out for free. And, send it personally, send it professionally, use one. I think you hit it best. It's like, you can go to the, you can go to the store. I did these cards. I sent out like 7 cards in 15 minutes. Postage, all of it, right? And they're like $1. They're not even $1.50 a piece. Printed, customized, printed with stamp, and mailed out. And the time I saved, as well as just the fact that I could personalize those, my signature was on them. You can upload your signature. Just a really great relationship marketing tool in a time, I think, when that's standing out. That's like, to me, that is standing out like crazy. You have no idea, right? We were texting everybody. This is a relationship business. And I think you will be an agent who is completely differentiated by this one tool, I think. And as you said before, you're obsessed with them. And it's working because you are getting so much back. Again, how long does it take to send out a few cards a day? So how much time are you spending on prospecting, or probably not? I mean, if that's your type of prospecting, the cards and the note cards, how long is this? Because I think they get hung up on, I don't want to do that. So how did you sort of, to just start working, and you said, I'm going to keep doing this? Or
yeah, I think it's something so easy and so different that not a lot of people are doing. I mean, and it works for all age ranges. So like if you're a millennial, what's the first thing you're going to open when you get your stack of mail? You're not going to open up other bills. You're going to open up the one that's handwritten. And that works for all age ranges. So it takes a few minutes. When I first started, I just did them all myself, and I would just do them by the end of the week. Kylie, my assistant, helps me a lot now. So she'll put them on my desk, or I'll say, hey, we need to send out card for so-and-so. So she'll help me a lot with that. But it takes so little time, and it makes such an impact, So if you just do so many a week and don't stop until you do that many, and you just are consistent with it, it's not hard, but no one does it.
I think you just hit it on the head. It has to be consistent. And I think a lot of personalities of ours in the real estate industry is like, we're not consistent, number one. Most of us are, um, playing defense most of the time, all day,
Mhm.
running around, dealing with, um, you know, reactive things. So what I think is great is so you don't have to do much cold calling or calling anybody because you communicate with everybody on these cards. Is that right?
Mhm. Yeah, I still call and talk to my sphere and stuff like that, but it's just another way to touch base. You know, I don't do any online leads or anything like that. So like my sphere is my moneymaker basically.
There it
So,
is.
you know,
That's the line of the day right there. I say work the leads you have. Alan Dalton, who is an industry icon, Alan was at Realtor.com during its inception. He's one of the vice presidents at Berkshire Hathaway, but and he's CEO of Real Living. But I want to say I heard him say this a couple of years ago, and I think it's brilliant. He said, "We need to influence our sphere." And we say sphere of influence all the time, but are we influencing our sphere? Are we getting on the phone and talking to them? So you just mentioned that you still call everybody, which I think is also what we sort of tend to want to stay away from doing. And this is a personal, face to face relationship business where we have to talk to people. David Knox, a week or two ago, said, agents just don't want to talk to people and they avoid doing these simple things. It's easy, hard work, guys.
Mhm.
Talk to your sphere. Can you tell us, Megan, what are some of the phone calls like? I know you've driven by someone's house and said, hey, your yard looks great. How are you? So are you just calling people, talking about them, and waiting for an opportunity for either a referral or for them to say they're interested in moving? How do those calls go? Because I think so
Mhm.
many people get jammed up about calling their sphere.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'll call or text for whatever reason. I've gone back and forth on the various ways of trying to make it systematic, but I just when I think of them, I just call them. I'll call some more than others, but it's not calling to ask for referrals of any kind. It's just, hey, how are you? How are the kids? Your yard looks great, or whatever. Just shoot the shit with them, and then naturally the real estate market comes into conversation because they're like, how are you? How's the market? And I think if you have, a couple of tidbits of stats, like what are rates doing? How many houses are on the market? What kind of market is it? Then they're automatically going to know that you are the market expert. So if you have those tidbit of stats ready to rock and roll, it's going to naturally come up. And then that leads to, well, my sister's thinking about moving. Here's her number or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. You're really, they will ask you because they'll say, how's it going? How's business? Everyone's buying houses, whatever. And you have to have those talking points, those like couple of 3 to 4 or 5 bullet points that you can speak to real quickly.
Yeah.
So you're calling people, you're saying, how are the kids? They look great on Facebook. Congratulations, something happened, and then you're just basically talking to people. It doesn't sound very complicated, actually. It sounds very easy.
Yeah. I don't, and I think do whatever works for your personality. Like, my personality is not to ask for referrals in the most direct possible way, like, hey, when we get off the phone, I'm going to need you to send me
Right.
3 people's information. But I'll say it more in a roundabout way, like, I saw your sister just had a baby. Do they need a bigger house? Or like something like that, that's like more casual.
Yeah.
And just do what works for you. If your personality is extra bold, then say that and that'll work for you. So you don't have to make it a huge deal, and it's a 2-minute conversation. And if they want to talk to you, they're going to answer. And if they don't want to talk to you, you made the call, and they'll still think about you. So,
And I'm assuming after these calls, you send them a follow-up note.
Yeah.
It was great talking to you.
Yeah.
And now they get something in the mail from you.
Easy peasy.
It's really easy. It is easy. I hope everyone's like taking notes and saying, I'm going to start doing this.
Yeah.
The Popeyes, I see the bags behind you. I know. I
I'm
just
gonna do them for summer.
people here. So you pop by and what do you give people? Is there a gift? Is there a comment? What do you do with that? Like,
Yeah, there's just I just do random things, whatever we can think of that is cost effective and cute. So
okay.
we'll do anything from Mother's Day tchotchkes to, like, we did a holiday one that was a bag of cookies with the $1 spatulas from Target. So it was like $2 per pot buy. So it just kind of depends on what the season. I mean, we've done bubbles and chalk. We've done truly, White Claws. We've done all sorts of different things.
Yeah. And then you just show up and surprise people. Is that how
Yeah.
that works?
Yeah.
So you pop by and you say, hey, I was just in the neighborhood. I wanted to drop this off. Get to talk to them for a few minutes. You see them face to face, which I think is fantastic. Are you doing those, like, do you do something special if someone refers you business? Do you send them a gift? And if so, like, what is that gift?
Mm-hmm. Usually I'll do like a coffee gift card, or I'll do the send out card brownies. Or I'll do, like, we have a local cookie shop here. I'll do those, just depends on, if I just need to do something quick, I'll just send the send out card. If I, have a second, I'll do something else, but, kind of just depends on the person too. So I try and tailor it a little bit, but because most of my guy clients, they would rather have a package of cookies or brownies, than a cup of coffee. So it just kind of depends.
Okay. Okay. And then what would you say to agents? So if and I started to talk about this before, it's like you mentioned consistency and, time management. Like, we combine all of these terms and, how does someone, and this is why it's such a great example, you're doing a ton of business, you're managing the business. It's not like you have closers, you're actually negotiating the home inspection resolutions. It sounds like you're the one. Do you attend the home inspection, or do you not do that in your state?
I do.
You do. So you're attending the
Yeah,
home inspection. Yeah. And so it's not like, people, you find the time to do this. And so I know one time I talked to you, you said, and you said it today, until it's done, right? You don't do anything else. And I think
Mhm.
if you could just touch on how do you stay so disciplined? How do you have the mindset to do these things that, like, as we keep saying, nobody really wants to do? Do you
Mhm.
feel like it just comes easy for you? Is it something sometimes you feel like you have to force yourself to do on a week you don't feel like doing it? Or, because you are human, obviously. So you have to have some, like, doing the cards because I have to do them. Or is it just like, I'm doing the cards because these always pay off? Like, is it just part of your natural personality, or do you feel like you have to, like, make yourself do this? And just talk about mindset.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I'm with everyone else. Like, I don't like sitting down here for an hour and writing. I have a stack of cards on my desk that I haven't done all week yet, but I better have them done by Monday. So, I mean, it is hard to do, the easy stuff, but the stuff that you don't want to do. Like, but I think, again, it's so easy to do that if you just sit down and make the time for it, it'll pay off in the long run. And I think too, you have to decide, like, why am I doing this? Like, what is your why? And is that why big enough for you to sit down there and write your thank yous, or call your center of influence, or do the stuff that you don't want to do? Like, I would rather be out showing properties all day long and meeting with people in person than sitting down and writing thank you notes, or chatting on the phone. Like, I'm more of a face-to-face type of person. Like, that's what gives me energy. But if you don't do the small stuff, you're never going to get to do any of the fun stuff that you like to do.
Are you in, and I totally agree, why am I doing this? And
Mhm.
that will drive everything.
Mhm.
Desire to, uh, the cost benefit analysis, the benefits outweigh the cost.
Mhm.
Sit here and do this. And it's good to know. I think you were just made very human, as I know you are, that, it isn't like, this is so easy. I mean, we all know how easy it is. We also
Mhm.
don't do it. So I think what happens is agents are getting ready to get ready. I learned that phrase from a guy I used to work with, Wayne, and he would say, "We're getting ready to get ready." And
Mhm.
you know, there are doers and there are people waiting, hoping that somebody calls them. And I think, putting out the message, I just spoke to you. Now I'm following up with a card. It was so great talking to you. What a nice surprise. I call that surprise value. It's in the mailbox. Someone gets the brownies. They get the note. Just the handwritten note is so different. You've said it multiple times. No one else is doing this.
Mhm.
And it really doesn't. I mean, I know we could do this while we're watching, one of our binge shows. If you're watching
Mhm.
Netflix, you could be doing cards at the same time. Yes, whoever said it's simple, not easy. It is simple. I think the part that we make it hard is that we done is better than perfect. And so a lot of times we'll hear, and it's funny that I would say that because it took me a long, long time, and I still have some issues sometimes with launching a course before it's ready, or a marketing thing. It has to happen. You're done at 80% of perfect, right? Is better than someone who hasn't done it at all,
Mhm.
so I think we're preventing our own success sometimes just by not doing these things. So goal setting, and I know you've had this success of repeat business and referrals, and it just keeps growing. Do you set goals, and how do you do those? I know you work with one of our top coaches. Do you set goals every month for number of listings each month or sales? Do you have a number of listing appointments goal per week? How do you set your goals, Megan?
Mhm. That's a great question. Jill and I always work on this. So I usually do it just by like weekly, like I want to get 5 deals under contract this week, whether it's listings or buyers. So I have an end goal for like, so this year I want to do 150 units. So, what is it going to take to get to those units? And then I'm more so tracking my under contracts. So like if I don't have, you know, between 30 and 40 under contracts, like I'm trying to hustle and trying to find, deals, and it pushes me into, like go mode. So I go more so off of under contract stuff because that will eventually, the more under contracts you have, the more closings you'll have. So I do it more so like that, which is right or wrong. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
what keeps me motivated. And then I have an end goal, in the years. So
And let me ask this. So at night, we're only as good as our last sale. 100%. I believe that. I remember sales mentor of mine before I got into real estate. I had closed a sale for I worked for my dad's printing company before I got my real estate license. And I walked down the hallway, and the guy who sells 90 million a year said, "Hey, kid, did you sell something?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." And I was excited and I was celebrating. And he said, "Great. Stop celebrating and go make 10 more calls right now." And I was like, okay. And what he said to me, though, which I've carried into my real estate career, is that you're on fire. Like your enthusiasm's up. You just had a sale. Go make more calls. And the other thing is, we're only as good as our last sale. So under contracts, 100%. That drives everything. And of
mhm.
course, listings. I'm all about listings. How many listings do you carry at a time? I know they're probably selling really quickly, some of them right now, but on average, like what do you usually hold in terms? I just want everyone to hear, like, you can do this, people. You can do it. Megan's proof you can do it. So how many active listings do you carry at a time?
This last couple of years are a little bit weird because whatever is on hopefully sells in quickly.
Yeah.
But I would say I don't know about 10 to 12 ish.
Yeah. All the time. Like that's just a normal occurrence. And people, I think I think agents don't realize they are capable of so much more. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you really can maintain, 5 to 10 listings all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
have that kind of momentum, the sales just follow. The sales just continue to follow.
Mm-hmm.
We have a question from Terry Holland. Hey, Terry. If you have a text or email interaction with someone, do you send them a card also? And I'll add text, email interaction, or even a social media direct message that might occur. Do you send those people a note card?
I
No,
don't know.
you're
Yeah.
just texting them back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So conversation based is when the card gets sent. And I want to point out, it's so funny because I'll say to people, agents will talk about their interaction with somebody, and when we hear people say, I talked to so and so, and or this is what they said, and I'm like, I have to actually say, was it live or is this on a text, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we are practicing what I call sales prevention, because we're not picking up the phone and talking. It's kind of an interesting thought, but so great question. Any other questions, everybody? Just drop a question for Megan while you can, because she is ready to answer them, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have. So you have a fantastic 150 goal. What's your average sale price?
I think it's around like 255, 265, somewhere around there.
And so 150 units. It's a great new goal, and I think what are some things that you could tell agents that they could be doing, start doing, and stop doing? I always like to
Mm-hmm.
ask top agents this question. What can agents stop doing that's distracting them, and what should they start doing?
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion.
Yeah, a couple of things. I would say stop trying to do everything and anything. I'm still learning new things every day, and I've been doing it almost 12 years. You're never going to know everything. So stop trying to do a little bit of everything and just pick one thing or two things that work for you and your business and do them. I feel like there's so much to do all the time that a lot of people just don't do anything, going around circles because they're not doing anything, but they have all this to do. You know what I mean? And I would say also, focus on your clients. Like, do the very best job that you can for every single client, and that is what is going to get you referrals. So take care of the client first and foremost, and if you always do the right thing for your client, then the next client and the next client and so on will come.
I love that you just said there are too many things where people focus on too many things, and they don't. It is such a distraction, and it dilutes the whole purpose. Like, you can't do everything,
Mm-hmm.
and that I think that overwhelms people. It stresses you out as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get success with something, you think it doesn't work. So I love that you said focus on one or two things and then do them, and actually continue to do them. And I think you're more focused in, working on those two things. Maybe it's open houses and your sphere. Whatever it is, just stick with it and consistently do it. I think over time, the results will manage themselves. We have somebody ask a question about, talk about your video texting. So video texting, what do you do with that?
Yeah, I just started doing that, honestly, because of Jill. So I'll just send some video texting things, like super short. It can be anything like, saw you went camping this weekend. Looks like you had a great time, or just was in your neighborhood and want to say hi, or happy birthday, or whatever. So I just started doing it a couple of weeks ago. But I've had some good success with it. So we'll see. I think it's a good idea. Everything's going to video, and I think it's more personal than just like a regular text message.
So you're just using your phone.
Yeah.
So everyone out there who's thinking they have to buy some product, which, there are some great products, obviously, but think about it. You have this thing right here. You can just video yourself and hit send. So often, we hear this a lot. There's a connectivity that happens when people see you. If you imagine the people we watch on shows, all the characters that we love in either movies or shows that we watch, we feel like we know them because we're seeing them act, right? And when people see you, they feel like they just had a connection with you. And one-to-one actual live conversation is obviously paramount and needs to happen. But the fastest way to reach the largest amount of people and with a personal message that has my face and my enthusiasm on it is through video. And so I'm thrilled to hear you're doing that. It's funny, a lot of top agents will sort of curse me out when I tell them they have to do video. And I don't mind. It's fun. It's, the industry, obviously. But I swear.
I hate video. Like, it is so out of my comfort zone. Like,
right.
I do not like it at all. But it takes like 2 seconds. And so I just been trying it, going down the alphabet in my sphere.
And what do people, so you're jumping in the deep end. You're starting before you're really ready. You're doing it when you don't want to do it. I know Jill's standard line is like, we have to be comfortable being uncomfortable until we do something for the first time. So what are people's responses back? Are they like, oh, hey, great to hear from you or great to see you? Like, what do they say back to you?
Yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, hi. Just like they're so excited to see your face. So it's been a positive thing, which then gives you a little bit more confidence to do some more. But
yeah, whenever we get good results from something, right, we want to say, oh, that worked. And again, real estate is easy, hard work. It's easy because there are simple things we can do. I think we tend to make it hard because we overcomplicate things or we get in our own head. It's like talking ourselves out of things. So video texting, what are you doing on any type of social media to connect with your sphere? Do you have like a private group, or how do you use social media at all if you are using it at all?
More so just to stay on top of mind. So, posting whatever tidbits of real estate related stuff or unrelated real estate items like curb appeal and design ideas or things like that. But I use social media more so for like, oh, I just saw you had a baby. I'm going to send you a send out card, or you just got engaged or married or whatever. So I more so do it like to see what everybody's doing, because I think that's an easy way to get ideas for your note cards.
You can just, we used to have to call everybody, ask the question, which we still can do. Yeah. But the Ford, F-O-R-D, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams, talking about people's lives. I think better than to talk about them. You can see all that now on Facebook, and wow, what a way to connect with people. And I love that you use that. I like it too. It's like you can follow them, like their stuff, and then send them a send out card.
Yeah.
There it is. There's the picture of the birthday party, and I just memorialized it on a card and, mailed it to them, like this one with my kids. That's not going anywhere because my kids are on it. And the engagements and the other things happening in people's lives. I think that's just so brilliant. And it's, again, being smarter and working smarter, not harder. And you can do these numbers, everybody. This is what's so great. When you realize, the difference between someone making, $25,000 a year and someone making $250,000 a year or $500,000 a year is not some magic. They're working smarter, not harder. You've been able to master the referral business. I want you to repeat what you said earlier. You said, I don't buy leads. My my income, what I work is my database, right? You work your own sphere based, and that is what everyone should be doing. They say that for every person we know, that they know 6 people that are moving. Now, I would have been happy if that number was 3. Half that would be a great stat. 6 people. Why are we not connecting with our sphere? Why are we not calling our past clients? People that even just moved 2 years ago would move again right now. If they, do people remember you? I also want to say, these statistics that say that, it was at one point 79% of consumers said they would use their agent again, yet only 12% were. It's a couple of years ago. That's staggering to me in a business that is so relationship. And I think, when you master the relationship marketing piece of this, educational marketing events, having, giving people information about the market. Do you do a regular weekly video, or I think you're working on that probably, it sounds like do you give it like a post something or send that out to your sphere on email of a video of you giving them a state of the market every week or every twice a month?
I don't, but that's a really good idea. I might try that. I'll do like occasional market updates, like maybe every other month or something like that. And then I do like a market review, like a hard mail copy with market analysis, and I'll do that twice a year, once in January and once in July. So that's my like big market push. And then I'll do social media stuff, throughout the year for market updates, just as what's going on.
Yeah, Megan, it's funny. I think I don't know if you watched that, if you were on for this, Megan Wise from Indiana, Berkshire Hathaway. She was the one that was cursing me out, and she went from 50 to 80 million. But she said to me, actually, she went from 30 to 80 million. But she said, I'm so glad you made me do this, because everyone expects it now. The quick video that says, "Hey, I have a new listing," and you show the listing without the address, or this constant real time updates of what you're doing almost so naturally. It's awesome. So yeah, so that's really cool. So any other questions before we wrap up, because we have a great group on here. Thanks for asking your questions. And I think it goes back to a couple of things you said: consistency, being in front of these people constantly. And it sounds like you had done a panel, and you and another real good friend of mine, Michael, were both over 90% referral rate, doing over, you're doing over 30 million. He was doing over 40 million out here in Cleveland. And you both said, I contact my sphere twice a month. Like, they hear from me twice a month. And I think everyone thinks, well, what am I going to say to these people? No cards are the easiest. Send out cards are easy. Phone calls, right? That's like right there. And then some sort of event. Do you do a holiday event, or like a summer event, or do you just do the one bowling alley event per year?
I do the one bowling alley event, and then anybody who has sent me a referral that has closed, then I'll do a small event. That we do like door hanger signs. You can make them at this place that we have in town. So I'll do like something small like that.
Nice. It's awesome. And so good. So tell us where you're headed. Like, what's the goal for next week? It's Friday. It's June 18th. Are you looking for a certain number of listings or sales over the weekend that you're closing? What's on your short-term agenda? Are you writing your note cards today?
Note cards. I have an out-of-town client in town, so I'll go show some houses. And then I think I need 3 more deals, Kylie. 3 more deals for July. So hopefully I'll get those by the end of the week or the end of the month. But
okay. And I think you've inspired everybody here, and hopefully everyone is taking note. You can do this business in a lesser cost. I mean, this is more effective,
Mhm.
less costly manner. You don't pay for any leads. You just said that. You're not paying for services to get you leads. You are working the database of people you already have.
Mhm.
And that right there is why I had you on today's show. So thank you
Yeah.
so much. You're a rock star. You
Thank you
are
for having
one of
me.
my favorite agents to talk to. You just inspire me, and you just make this. You really break it down to the simplest form of just putting into action
Yeah.
the things
I
that
think,
most people.
yeah, and I don't do anything special or anything like that. I think I just do it. There's no golden ticket of like this secret is going to get you success or anything like that. I think just go out there and do the work. That's really all there is to it, in my opinion.
The secret is in doing it and being consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
And making connections, and I think you've hit it out of the park. You're going to have a great rest of this year. I just know it. You're doing great things, and we want to thank you. I want to thank you for being part of Sherri Johnson
Thank you.
Coaching. I just want to thank you for being on our show today. I know everyone got a lot out of this. Don't forget that you can do a free send out card on us. Going to I'll put that up again, sherrijohnson.com. If you're a current member of our coaching program, we'll send you information. We can even give you a quick tutorial. If you're not in coaching and you still want to sign up for this, go for it. You'll love the program. And before I get off, we got some thank yous. Hi, Pauline. Thank you for your comment. You rock, actually, and we are here for you. That's what Megan and I are here exactly for you, to watch this and get great ideas from a top agent right here in from Omaha, Nebraska. It was awesome. Are you from there?
Yeah, born and raised.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's great. We've got a before we do get off, I've got a new podcast, Sherri Johnson podcast, called You Rock, which is a real estate podcast on all podcast platforms. Megan's interview will be on that. It will also be available on YouTube for you to watch again or share with a friend. And lastly, I'm so excited. We launched the Playbook online and live coaching subscription, which is only $99 a month. We're offering a free first month, which is fantastic because you can join right now. Go to sherrisfreeplaybook.com and you can get access to the Sherri Johnson Academy with over 15 initial courses. We add courses every month. There's tip of the week every week from me, and then you get a live coaching call with me with Q&A once a month for just $99. Again, the first month is free. It's on us. And we want to get you into the program. Megan's in our program. I think you've been about 15 months or so, 18 months.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And we love having you, but more importantly, we love that you would come out here today and share your time, your talent, and your success story with everybody. So I hope you come back again.
I will. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend. And again, thank you everybody for being here. I'm Sherri Johnson, and I'll see you next week or next episode. And remember, everybody, get out there, connect with your sphere, make it happen. Done is better than perfect. And we look forward to seeing you again. Go into Sherri's freeplaybook.com, sign up today, and you can have immediate access to the Sherri Johnson Academy. And we'll see you guys all soon. Megan, have a great weekend. Thanks again.
You.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.